Hello, welcome back to I Create For You. And if it's your first time, welcome. And I hope you stick around. We are doing another ghost story, and it is another animal ghost story in the book Ghosts Among Us, and it's called Out to Pasture. Jessie Johnson was a sophomore in high school. On the winter morning, she trudged through the snow to the barn to prepare breakfast for her 4 horses. It was 1994, and a heavy snow had fallen on the Ohio Valley, where the Johnson family lived on 15 wooded acres. As Jessie, her parents, and her 11-year-old brother Adam filled pails with oats, the horses played in the snow in the pasture. It was a peaceful scene. The little farmhouse, the trees, and the long driveway that led to their home were all swaddled in white. Joey, their dark brown mare, pranced in the snow. She tossed her head, playful as a colt, as she danced about in the bright white world. Okay, now I'm just going to interject here. Colts or male young horses, ponies, and fillies are female. So I'm not sure why they said she tossed her head playful as a colt. Okay. Suddenly the sound of a gunshot shattered the peace. The family was devastated to find Joey dying from a hunter's bullet. I held her head, remembered Jessie. It had snowed so much the roads were too bad for the vet to get there in time to save her. It was horrible. The careless hunter had thought he was shooting a deer and discovered the distraught family when he arrived to collect his bounty. It was the worst day of 15-year-old Jessie's life. The sweet-natured quarter horse with the white star on her forehead was a year older than she had been. She and had been born on the farm. Jessie had shown in her in the 4-H club. The gentle mare had always been part of her childhood. The horses were in our yard, right next to our house, Jessie stressed. He shouldn't have been hunting there. It turned out he was a substitute teacher, and he showed up at my school a few weeks later. Jessie marched up to the teacher after class and spat, "You murdered my horse." He shrugged and said, "I'm sorry." "I don't care," she retorted and stomped off. Though the Johnsons were awarded a cash settlement for Joey in a civil suit, and they purchased another horse, it did little to ease their grief. Joey had been part of their family. No amount of money, no other horse could replace her. The ground was frozen on that awful day Joey died. A kind neighbor showed up with his tractor and dug her a grave beneath the tree where the mare had loved to graze. It is at the end of our driveway. It was her favorite place. She was always standing there, remembered Jessie. The seasons changed and the snow melted. Tiny wildflowers poked their heads up around the roots of Joey's tree. The Johnson family noticed something odd. When the horses were in the fenced-off area on the other side of the driveway, they would stand beside the fence and stick their heads over it, staring at the tree where Joey was buried. There were 4 horses again. Joker, the newcomer, joined the others. Penny's Joey's mother was such a bright red that she resembled a new penny shining in the sun. Nugget, Joey's son, was also a bright red image. The pony rounded out the foursome. Image is the name of the 4th horse. The herd clustered together, staring over the fence at something beneath the tree, something no one else could see. Springtime turned into summer, and others began to see what the horses saw. "My brother saw her first," said Jessie. Adam Johnson was sauntering up the hill to the end of the driveway on a summer morning when he passed the tree. "Hello, Joey," said the 11-year-old as he saw the brown mare. He glanced away, then stopped in his tracks as he realized a realization floated over him. Joey was gone. When he looked back, the horse was gone, but he had seen her. "He wasn't scared," said Jessie. "He was just a little unnerved." A year later, it was summertime once again, and Jessie was driving home after a night out with friends. It was around 11 p.m., my curfew, as I pulled into the driveway, she confided. As she headed down the driveway, her headlights lit up the tree, and there, grazing beneath it, was her beloved horse. "The other horses were all in the barn for the night," said Jessie. "I knew it was Joey." She gazed at her for a full 30 seconds. The brown quarter horse appeared as solid and real as any living being. Then the animal dissolved before her eyes. Tears burned Jessie's eyes as she sat in her car. "It brought back so many memories," she said. "Before long, every member of the Johnson family caught glimpses of the horse." "My father saw her too," said Jessie. "He doesn't believe in ghosts, but he saw her. He would tell us about it, then quickly change to the subject." Joey's spirit was spotted regularly. Jessie sometimes saw her when she looked out her bedroom window. "She was always under the tree," she said. A few years after the tragic death of Joey, Penny died of natural causes. Her spirit, too, has been seen on the Johnsons' acreage. "Penny was my horse," said Jessie's mother, Cheryl Johnson. "I'd gotten her when I was 16. She was 31 when she died." Penny, a registered quarter horse, was 4 years old when she came into Cheryl's life. Cheryl immediately fell in love with her. "She had a diamond star on her face, a white snip on her nose, and 2 white socks halfway up her legs," said Cheryl. "When she died in 1997, we buried her where she liked to stand, under an ash tree." A couple of months later, it was dusk as Cheryl and her husband Steve were bringing the horses to the barn for the night. Cheryl was beside the barn with the horses gathered around her, and Steve was on the road on the hill above. He called down to his wife, saying one of the horses was grazing beneath the ash tree. "It's not one of ours," Cheryl yelled to him. "I've gotten them all around me." She looked up at the tree, and there in the dimming light she saw the distinctive outline of a horse beneath it. The image was there for a long time, she said. As she watched, it eventually dissolved into the shadows. Jessie now lives in Anaheim, California, where she's a counselor who works with children. "The horses are still seen," she said. "It makes my mom happy. She's glad their spirits are still around." Wow, that must be something, to actually be able to see them. At least they're happy. They're not vengeful. They're just peaceful. I'm going to try to do a horse. I'm just going to do possibly just like the head of it, the best that I can. Feeling just a tiny bit better this afternoon. Wasn't this morning, but it was, this illness was shaking me again. I know you're probably tired of hearing me say it, so sorry for that. I just feel like I gotta explain my situation a little bit, that's all. I used to take horseback riding lessons when I was a kid. Always wanted a horse. Never got one though. Close, but no cigar, right? And I love taking horseback riding lessons, and now my son has one, so I can live through him, vicariously through him, since he now has a horse. And he has actually 2 horses. His stepdaughter is into different kinds of I think she's in 4-H too for horses, but she kind of does competitions. Like she did already do it, but she actually goes and takes lessons for this too, and she does show the horse. So it's pretty impressive, because she hasn't been doing it for that long, but she had a friend who had a horse, and she kind of got, hooked on horses a little bit. Well, they can out there. They have lots of land that the horses can thrive on. So it was like a no-brainer. Well, she actually was told that if she wanted a horse, she had to save up her money, and this young girl did. So she makes me proud, even though she's not blood relatives. She really makes me proud that she could do that. She could earn her money for what she wanted, and that's good. It's a good lesson, you know. You got to work for what you want. You can't just get it handed to you just because you want it. And she really she's really thriving with that horse, because I think she already showed it a few times and has gotten ribbons for it. So her mom is really proud of her. I am too. She's a really nice young lady. She's like, I think she's 14 right now, but she's, you know, most 14-year-olds would rather be on their tech devices playing games, and she does play video games, but her and her sister both, they get out and they do the nature stuff too. They don't just vegetate on the iPads or phones or whatever they may have. I don't even think either one of them have a phone right now. I'm not sure, but yeah. And that's a good thing. My kids grew up without having that kind of a lifestyle. They didn't have a phone to worry about or anything. And it was one of those deals where you just hoped they were honest where they were going. You didn't really know, but you were hoping they would be honest with you and kind of let you know so you wouldn't worry. I don't know, I think kids were more trustworthy back then. My kids were born in 87 and 92. So it kind of tells you a little bit about how old I am. I'm an old fart, but I wouldn't change a thing, believe me. I love the era that I was raised in, and the era that I raised my children in. They've gotten to learn responsibility and not expecting too much. They've made me proud of who they are. Very much so. I kind of like the idea that my son has a horse, so I got to meet it. I didn't get to ride it. They are like rescue horses, so they've been through a lot. They've had they didn't pay a lot for the horses, but they do have, you know, issues from being rescues, as all rescue animals do. You never quite know what the animals go through, but you love them anyway. You help them get over whatever it is that got them to where they were, that they needed to be rescued. So well, you know what? For not feeling good, I'm kind of liking my horse sketch. It got pretty gosh darn good, if you ask me. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for once. For once, my sketch doesn't look half bad. This used to be my specialty when I was a kid. I always drew horses. That's probably why it just came a little bit easier for me to do this one. Yep. I love painted horses. They're my favorite. And there is Joey. I'm going to bring it up to you. This is Joey. I wonder if I turn off this. Let me see if that doesn't help you see it any better. I don't tend to, let me go back a minute here. I don't tend to sketch heavy, dark. So, but this is Joey. Poor Joey. But thank you so much. Let me see what the time, I don't know what the time is on here. I don't really see, it's not telling me what the time frame is. Crap. But anywho, I think I'm going to let that go for now, and I want to let you know that the next time I do a story and sketch, I will have the pictures that I promised to show you from the Old Faithful Inn of Yellowstone when I went to visit my son. When we went over there, I had told stories about that inn when we were in the Yellowstone book. And so I did print those pages out, so I will have them for the next time to let you see it and what we saw and the pictures that my husband took. And I shall, hopefully you guys will stick around and you'll get to see them. Please stay happy, stay healthy, stay creative, stay creepy, stay you, and stay tuned for the next video. Please like and subscribe and comment if you'd like to. I'd like to hang out with you guys again, so be sure to stop by one more time, at least. I'm pretty sure you'll like my channel. I am a likable kind of person. I hope I am anyway. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now.